February 2021, Texas. Millions of people lost power as temperatures plummeted. Families had just 6 to 12 hours before their homes turned into freezers. Some didn't make it. When winter storms knock out the grid and the cold sets in, you're either prepared or you're in serious danger. In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the 11 critical items that separate survivors from casualties during winter blackouts. These aren't gadgets for comfort, they're life-saving essentials backed by real experience from people who've endured multi-day outages. You'll learn exactly what to get, why each item matters, and how to use them when disaster strikes. Welcome to Food Decider, where we help you make smart decisions about survival, preparation, and staying safe when it matters most. If you find this information valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more life-saving content. Make sure you watch until the end. Every single item on this list could mean the difference between life and death for you and your family. Let's start with something you might not think about immediately but becomes critical within hours. Cooking. When the power dies, so does your stove, your microwave, and your coffee maker. Hot food isn't just about comfort, it's about maintaining morale and body heat. But here's the thing, cooking during a power outage comes with hidden dangers that have killed people. You have 3 reliable cooking options. First, butane camp stoves. They're clean burning, easy to control, and reliable in most cold conditions. However, butane canisters struggle below freezing, so you need propane as a backup. That brings us to option 2, propane burners. Propane works down to negative 44 degrees Fahrenheit, making it ideal for deep winter conditions. Third, if you have access to it, a wood-burning rocket stove is effective, but only if you have seasoned hardwood. Never use green lumber or construction scraps. They produce toxic fumes that can poison you indoors. Here's the critical safety warning that saved lives. Never, ever use charcoal grills, camping stoves, or generators indoors. Carbon monoxide is an invisible killer. Families have survived devastating storms only to die from poisoning after bringing grills inside to stay warm or cook food. This isn't a minor risk. It happens every winter. Keep your cooking equipment outside or in well-ventilated areas only. Now, here's a small detail that matters more than you'd think. Keep a manual can opener with your cooking gear. In a crisis, muscle memory will have you reaching for the electric opener, which obviously won't work. And if you're planning to cook with wood, start collecting and drying it now. It takes 6 to 12 months to season properly. The key principle here is redundancy. Have multiple cooking methods and know how to use each one before disaster strikes. Next, let's talk about the one resource you absolutely cannot survive without: water. You can survive weeks without food, but only 3 days without water. Most people assume their taps will keep flowing during a power outage. This is a deadly mistake. Municipal water systems rely on electric pumps. When the power goes out, those pumps stop working. Even worse, outages can compromise water treatment facilities, leading to contamination. You need to store water before the crisis hits. The rule is simple: 1 gallon per person per day. For a family of 4, that means at least 28 gallons for a week. And you need the right containers. Food-grade water barrels are UV-resistant and designed for long-term storage. They're far superior to camping jugs, which can crack in cold weather and leach chemicals into your water. But storage is only half the battle. You also need purification methods. Water purification tablets are compact and easy to store, but they can't remove all contaminants and they affect the taste. Portable water filters are more effective but require regular maintenance. Boiling is foolproof, but it requires fuel, which is why your cooking methods matter so much. Here's the redundancy principle again. Keep sealed water storage as your primary supply, tablets for emergencies, and a high-quality filter for questionable sources. Always maintain the ability to boil water using your alternative cooking methods. Now that you can cook and you have water, you need food that won't spoil. When the power fails, your fridge and freezer become spoilage containers. Within just a few hours, perishable food becomes a health hazard. You need a stockpile of non-perishable items that can sustain you through extended outages. Focus on high-calorie options. Your body burns significantly more calories in the cold, so you need energy-dense foods. Stock canned goods like chili, stew, and hearty soups. Prioritize proteins and fats. Canned meats, nuts, peanut butter, and cooking oils are essential. Pasta and rice make good base foods, but remember they require water and fuel to prepare. Energy bars and dried fruits provide quick calories and are easy to eat even with cold, numb hands. And don't underestimate comfort foods. Instant coffee and hot chocolate can dramatically boost morale during a crisis. Here's something people forget. Rodents seek food and shelter during storms. Use metal containers or thick plastic bins with tight lids to protect your supplies from pests. The key is variety and redundancy. Stock foods that can be eaten cold, foods that require minimal preparation, and foods that provide psychological comfort.
When you're freezing and stressed, a hot cup of coffee or chocolate can make the difference between despair and determination. Moving on to protection, when the furnace dies, every gap and crack in your home becomes a liability. Heat escapes rapidly and cold air infiltrates your living space. You need to defend your home's thermal envelope, and that requires the right materials. Stock heavy mil plastic sheeting at least 6 mil thickness. This stuff is versatile. You can cover broken windows, seal off rooms you're not using, and create windbreaks. Duct tape is essential for sealing leaks, holding plastic in place, and patching gear. Draft stoppers and weather stripping go under doors and windows. Pool noodles work surprisingly well as makeshift draft stoppers. Blankets and Mylar emergency blankets aren't just for wrapping around people. Hang them over doorways and windows to create barriers and reflect heat back into your rooms. Here's a strategy that can extend your survival time significantly. Zone your home. Close off unused rooms and focus all your heating efforts on a smaller interior space. Think of your home as having zones and defend the core where your family will spend most of their time. Every bit of insulation you add, every gap you seal, extends how long you can survive without external heating. This isn't about comfort, it's about creating a defendable space that retains whatever heat you can generate. And that brings us to backup heating, which is absolutely critical. When temperatures drop and your furnace fails, hypothermia becomes a real threat. Your body's core temperature must stay above 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Drop below that and you're in serious medical danger. You have several heating options. Portable propane heaters are popular because they're effective and relatively affordable. Look for indoor-rated models with automatic shutoff features. But here's the critical part. Always use battery-powered carbon monoxide detectors when running any combustion heater indoors and crack a window for ventilation. Yes, you're letting some heat out, but you're preventing carbon monoxide buildup that can kill you. Kerosene heaters are effective for larger spaces but require maintenance and produce odors. Wood-burning stoves are reliable if you have seasoned wood and the right setup. But heating isn't just about devices, it's about strategy. Use a layered approach. Start with personal warming, multiple layers of clothing, warm hats that cover your ears, insulated boots, and sub-zero rated sleeping bags. Then heat a small space. Pick an interior room, close it off, and concentrate all your heating efforts there. You can even use solar heating during the day. Paint water containers black and place them in sunny windows. They'll absorb heat and release it slowly throughout the night. Here's something people don't realize until it's too late. Start heating before you feel cold. Once your core temperature drops, it's much harder to warm back up. Prevention is easier than recovery. And never underestimate the power of proper clothing and bedding. A good sleeping bag rated for sub-zero temperatures can keep you alive even without any other heating source. Now, let's talk about repairs. Winter storms don't just knock out power, they damage critical systems. Pipes burst, windows crack, roofs leak. Without electricity, your power tools are useless. Manual tools and basic know-how become your lifeline. You need a basic manual toolkit, a framing hammer for boarding up windows and securing loose siding, hand saws, and you should practice your technique before you need it. Long, smooth strokes work best. A good knife or multi-tool for cutting, stripping wire, and making repairs. Adjustable winches and pliers for plumbing emergencies. And lots of duct tape, zip ties, and bungee cords for temporary fixes. These items seem simple, but they're invaluable when something breaks. The advantage of manual tools is that they work in any condition. Cold weather kills batteries and makes power tools unreliable, but a hammer works at any temperature. Keep your repair kit accessible, not buried in the garage under boxes. The goal isn't perfect repairs, it's temporary fixes that prevent small problems from becoming life-threatening emergencies. A burst pipe can flood your home in hours. A broken window can make a room uninhabitable. Having the right tools ready can save your home. Let's move on to something that affects both safety and psychology: lighting. Winter outages mean long nights, sometimes 14 hours of darkness. Inadequate lighting is a safety hazard when you're trying to cook, make repairs, or navigate your home, but it's also a psychological stressor that can wear down your mental resilience. You need multiple lighting solutions. LED flashlights with multiple brightness settings, long battery life, and durable construction are essential. Have several of them. Lanterns, whether LED, battery-powered, hand crank, or solar, provide area lighting that makes entire rooms usable. Headlamps are crucial because they're hands-free, allowing you to make repairs or cook while keeping both hands available. Battery-powered LED candles give you safe comfort lighting without fire risk, which matters when you have plastic sheeting and other flammable materials around. Here's a detail about batteries. Alkaline batteries lose power quickly in cold temperatures. Lithium batteries perform much better.
Stock both types and consider solar chargers and hand crank options that give you renewable power when batteries run out. There's a clever lighting trick you should know. Place a flashlight or lantern inside a clear water jug. The water diffuses and amplifies the light, making a single source illuminate an entire room. And practice light discipline. Shield your lights from windows to avoid attracting unwanted attention from people looking for help or resources. Adequate lighting maintains your circadian rhythms and provides psychological comfort. Humans aren't meant to sit in darkness for days on end. Good lighting makes the situation feel more manageable and helps everyone stay calmer. Don't overlook this. It seems minor compared to heating and food, but mental state matters enormously during extended emergencies. Communication is another area where people are caught off guard. When the electrical grid fails, communication networks often follow. Cell towers have backup batteries, but those don't last forever. Suddenly, you're cut off from information when you need it most. You need battery-powered or hand-crank radios to access emergency broadcasts and weather updates. NOAA weather radios provide continuous updates on storm conditions and emergency information. Two-way radios using FRS or GMRS frequencies let you coordinate with family members when cell phones stop working. If you're in a truly remote area, satellite messengers provide emergency communication when everything else fails. And portable power banks are essential for keeping your critical devices charged. Look for models with solar panels and hand crank options for renewable charging. Here's how to extend your device battery life. Reduce screen brightness to the minimum usable level, disable unnecessary apps and background processes, and use airplane mode when you're not actively communicating. Your phone becomes a precious resource. Don't waste its battery on social media or games. Also, keep physical maps of your area. When GPS fails and you need to navigate or communicate your location, paper maps are reliable. Write down important phone numbers and keep them with your emergency supplies. When your phone dies, you'll still have the information you need. Now we need to talk about something that people find unpleasant but is absolutely critical: sanitation. When water systems fail, toilets stop flushing and washing facilities become limited. Poor sanitation in close quarters is a fast track to illness, and the last thing you need during a winter power outage is everyone getting sick. You need water specifically for hygiene. Melted snow or stored rainwater works for washing when your taps are dry. Baby wipes and hand sanitizer let you clean without using precious drinking water. Stock antibacterial versions. Get more toilet paper than you think you'll need. It's cheap, it stores well, and running out is miserable. Portable toilets or waste bags are essential if your plumbing fails. A 5-gallon bucket with a seat and waste bags is a simple, effective solution. Stock feminine hygiene products. And consider menstrual cups as reusable alternatives. Get concentrated soap and shampoo that work in cold water. Dry shampoo extends the time between washes when water is scarce. Don't forget dental hygiene too: toothbrushes, toothpaste, and mouthwash. Dental problems can become extremely painful, and there's no dentist available during a storm. You also need a plan for garbage management. Trash services won't run during a major outage, and you need safe waste storage until services resume. This might not seem as urgent as heating or food, but maintaining cleanliness dramatically improves morale and prevents health hazards. When everyone is stressed and confined together, basic hygiene becomes a psychological necessity, not just a physical one. Medical emergencies become much more common during power outages. People have accidents while making emergency repairs. Burns happen when using alternative cooking methods. Pre-existing health conditions worsen from stress and cold. You need to be prepared to handle medical situations when professional help is far away or completely unavailable. Start with prescription medications. Build up a reasonable supply, not a year's worth, but enough to get through a few weeks. Keep them in their original containers with clear labeling. Your first aid supplies should include sterile gauze, medical tape, antiseptic wipes, various sizes of bandages, and burn gel. Stock multiple types of pain relievers, including formulations appropriate for children if you have kids. Have a thermometer and blood pressure monitor so you can track vital signs and watch for infection or hypothermia. If anyone in your family has diabetes, you need extra test strips, insulin properly stored, and fast-acting glucose sources. Consider consulting with a medical professional about including antibiotics in your supplies. Dental emergency supplies are often overlooked. Temporary filling material, strong pain relievers, and oral antibiotics for infections. Mental health matters too. Anti-anxiety medications, sleep aids, and stress management supplies help people cope. And get medical reference books, guides for first aid, managing chronic conditions, and recognizing serious symptoms. When you can't just call a doctor, having information is critical. The single best preparation you can make is learning basic medical skills. Take a first aid course, learn CPR,
Understand how to recognize and treat hypothermia, frostbite, and carbon monoxide poisoning. Knowledge is lighter than supplies and never runs out. Medical preparation isn't about handling everything. It's about improving your ability to manage problems until professional care becomes available. Finally, let's talk about the foundation that supports all your other systems: emergency power generation. Electricity powers heating systems, water pumps, lights, communication devices, and medical equipment. Having some form of backup power can make the difference between a manageable situation and a desperate one. Portable generators are the most common solution. Gas-powered generators provide substantial power output, but you need to size them appropriately for your actual needs. Don't buy more generator than necessary. They're expensive and consume fuel quickly. Speaking of fuel, gasoline requires stabilizers to store long-term. Propane stores indefinitely without degradation, making it excellent for backup power. Diesel is fuel efficient, but generators are more expensive up front. Whatever fuel you choose, store it safely and legally, following all local regulations. Generator safety is critical and non-negotiable. Never run a generator indoors, not even in a garage with the door open. Place it at least 20 feet from any windows or doors. Use carbon monoxide detectors religiously. People die every year from generator misuse. Don't become a statistic. Solar power systems offer a different approach. They're renewable, completely silent, and produce no fumes. They're ideal for charging essential devices and running lights, though they're limited for high-power appliances. Battery backup systems, including uninterruptible power supplies and deep-cycle battery banks, bridge the gap when generators aren't running and provide silent power for sensitive electronics. Manual charging methods like hand crank and bicycle-powered generators work for small devices when everything else fails. You can even use inverters to convert your car battery power to household AC power. Just be careful not to drain your car battery completely. Power management is crucial. Prioritize essential loads. Heating controls, communication devices, and medical equipment come first. Use efficient LED lighting instead of power-hungry incandescent bulbs. Run high-power appliances one at a time rather than simultaneously. The best approach combines multiple power sources. Solar systems work during the day, generators provide high power when needed, and battery systems offer silent power at night. Each covers the weaknesses of the others. Electrical safety matters enormously. Use proper transfer switches to connect generators to your home's electrical system safely. Never backfeed power into your electrical panel without proper equipment. You can electrocute utility workers trying to restore power. Use heavy-duty, outdoor-rated extension cords appropriate for the power load. Improper electrical connections cause fires and electrocutions every year. If you're not confident in your electrical knowledge, hire a professional to set up your backup power system correctly. So there you have it, the 11 essential items that form a comprehensive foundation for surviving winter power outages. Alternative cooking methods, water storage and purification materials, insulation and weatherproofing materials, non-perishable food supplies, manual tools for repairs, backup heating solutions, lighting systems, communication devices, sanitation supplies, medical equipment, and emergency power generation. Together, these address every critical need that arises when normal systems fail. The key is having all of them ready before you need them. Disasters don't wait for convenient timing. You can't run to the store when the power's already out and roads are impassable. Preparation isn't about paranoia, it's about responsibility. Every winter brings outages somewhere, and some last days or even weeks. Start with the basics and build your capabilities over time. Make a plan, gather supplies, and most importantly, practice using your equipment before a real crisis hits. Knowledge and preparation today prevent suffering and tragedy tomorrow. Winter storms will keep coming, and power grids will keep failing. Climate change is making extreme weather more common, not less. Aging infrastructure means outages are becoming more frequent and lasting longer. The question isn't if you'll face a winter power outage, it's whether you'll be ready when it happens. Don't wait for the weather forecast or the emergency alert. Start now, while stores are stocked and you have time to learn. Your family's safety depends on the decisions you make today. Winter doesn't negotiate, and power outages don't wait for permission. With the right preparation, mindset, and equipment, you can face whatever winter throws at you with confidence. If you found this information valuable, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Food Decider for more content that helps you make smart decisions about survival and safety. Share this video with your family members who need this information. Comment below and let me know which of these 11 items you're going to prioritize first. Preparation saves lives, and we're all stronger when we're all prepared. Stay safe out there, and remember, every day you're not preparing is a day you're falling behind. Winter is coming. The choice is yours.